Positive and negative punishment. Some of you may be wondering what positive and negative punishment actually is. These two concepts make up half of the reinforcement schedule. The other two quadrants are positive and negative reinforcement. I chose to speak on only the punishment portion because I find it more interesting. Reinforcing behavior can be a little more simple. If 3-year-old Johnny uses the potty on his own, he gets candy. If 12-year-old Sheila does good on her test, she gets to take off one chore from her task list. Punishment seems a little more complex. It makes you question what the child may think or feel after having that punishment added, and what the repercussions of adding too much punishment can be. Positive punishment is defined as adding a stimulus following the occurrence of a behavior in order to decrease the likelihood of the behavior happening again. In this slide, there is another definition of positive punishment. To dive in a little deeper, a positive punishment is not really positive at all. In ABA, the word positive is to be used when something is added. Positive punishment is applied when an individual is showing unwanted behavior. By applying positive punishment and giving rewards when wanted behavior is shown, behavior patterns will begin to change. In the examples provided on the right side of the slide, there is positive punishment being applied. Since the class did not want to behave or listen, the teacher gave them a lecture with a stern voice, implying that they are in trouble. Being scolded was the positive punishment. In the next example, chores were added to the child's list due to them misbehaving. Adding those chores acts as the positive punishment. Here are two more examples of positive punishment. Evan continued to text in the classroom even after the teacher got on to him. The teacher gave Evan 3 days of in-school suspension. The positive punishment in this scenario is Evan having 3 days of in-school suspension added to him. Had Evan listened to the teacher the first few times she had gotten on to him, he would not have had these days added. In the next situation, Ashley was disrespectful to someone at the grocery store. Ashley's mom heard what she said and grounded Ashley for 2 weeks. Had Ashley been nice and cordial to the person in the grocery store, her mom wouldn't have added these 2 weeks of grounding to her. That acts as the positive punishment in this scenario. It's likely that in both examples, for Evan and Ashley, that their future behavior will be altered and changed and will decrease over time after they have learned their lessons. On the flip side of that, you have negative punishment. Negative punishment is defined as a response behavior which immediately calls for the removal of a stimulus. This should show a decrease in the response that was shown before, and over time will decrease the behavior. This is one example of negative punishment. Emily would always ignore her mother while she was on her tablet. Because Emily did not hear her mother say that it was time for bed, she was up past her bedtime. Emily's mother took her iPad from her until the weekend. The negative punishment here would be the iPad being taken from her until the weekend. Had Emily have listened and went to bed when she was supposed to have, her iPad would not have been taken, therefore a negative punishment would not have been implemented. From here on out, Emily will most likely go to bed on time. Of course, like most things, punishment does have negative effects. It's been seen that punishment is only effective for the short-term resolution of some other issues. It's also been noted that punishment alone gives no direct information or knowledge of the wanted behavior that is desired. Another concept is that punishment brings on unwanted and negative psychological drawbacks. So the way that I think that they look at it is that is physical punishment, if that's what you resort to solely, then that could cause the child to act violent, become aggressive, and have other issues into their adulthood, such as drug use or having antisocial behaviors. Here are my listed references. Of course, I've used our class textbook from Cooper, and then I have referenced an article from High Five, and of course, Tenor.com for the gifts that I have used throughout my presentation. Thank you to everybody who has viewed my presentation. Hopefully, you've learned something about positive and negative punishment.